Despite beautiful BC being the most biodiverse province in Canada, it currently does not have a provincial law to protect endangered species or their habitats. It's pretty wild. But a solution is in the works, known by the not-so-catchy name of the Biodiversity and Ecosystem Health Framework. But what actually is it, and how does it have the potential to revolutionize nature protection in BC? Let's dive into it. The framework, formally announced in 2023, is comprised of three main pieces. One, implementing a provincial law co-developed with Indigenous nations that prioritizes biodiversity and ecosystem health. Two, putting in place interim protection measures for species on their habitats while this law is being developed. And three, establishing a biodiversity office with the power to implement the framework in partnership with Indigenous nations. The juiciest part of this framework is the law, so let's dig into that. Currently, for at-risk species, the province relies on a patchwork of environmental policies that are riddled with loopholes, often undermine Indigenous governance, and often rely on voluntary compliance from industry. For example, did you know in BC, logging companies are not legally required to survey for species at risk before cutting down a forest? It's bananas. The proposed new biodiversity law, co-developed with Indigenous nations, aims to fix these huge gaps. Essentially, this new law has the potential to center the environment and land stewardship decisions, instead of putting industrial resource extraction over everything else. It's even better than simply an endangered species law because it protects whole ecosystems and the web of life that depends on them instead of just individual species. This would not only help endangered species recover, but stop others from becoming threatened in the first place. So this all sounds great, but that's also the catch. So far, this plan is just talk. In late 2023, the BC government opened up this framework for public feedback, and thousands of people wrote in support, which was fantastic. The province then said they'd roll out a final plan in 2024, but we haven't heard a peep since. The longer this framework is delayed, the closer amazing species like salmon, caribou, and old-growth forests get to the brink. And right now, there's an added danger: a push to get big development projects fast-tracked by rolling back environmental assessments and consultations with Indigenous nations amid the build baby build mindset. So this biodiversity legal framework has never been more needed. And thankfully, there's something you can do about it. Will you join the thousands of others calling for the Biodiversity and Ecosystem Health Framework to be greenlit? Send a message today.